You ready? Buckle up, Big Sills. What a week. What a crazy bunch of days we've gone through here with NFL free agency, Deshaun Watson talk, okay, Hassan Reddick signing. You know, maybe I didn't give it enough love yesterday. Great sign. You addressed the need. Howie did the right thing. You know, I should have probably hit on it a little bit more. We talked about it a little bit earlier with Barrett when we were on the middle. It's a tremendous sign because you get an opportunity now to fill a need there. You bring a guy home. He wants to play in Philly. Kid who went to school right up the pike. They addressed the need. But it's been awful quiet. Awful quiet on the Deshaun Watson front. It's been awful quiet. Guys, do me a favor. Please hit the like button. Hey, Merrill Reese will join us in hour number 2. And we'll get Merrill's thoughts on all the chatter that's going on with the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, I ask you this. It's been awful quiet, like I said, with the Eagles and Watson. Tell me something as an Eagle fan, though. Isn't this Howie's MO? Hassan Reddick just parachuted in. Did you or anybody in the market or anybody around the NFL circles hear of the Eagles identifying that guy? You know, he's got a lot of old school Al Davis Raider in him on how he operates. He operates behind the scenes. He doesn't want people knowing the Eagles' business. So I ask you, let's get a profile of Howie Roseman. Guys, am I right when I say this? He doesn't want his business out in public like some of these other teams. Is that fair? Is that his MO? Since he's been the general manager of your football team, is that Howie Roseman's MO? Because people keep asking me, Sills, how come there's no noise? But isn't that how he operates? Okay? Doesn't he operate like that? Well, then why are you panicking? Nobody has signed. Most of these teams that are, what is Atlanta going to offer him except home? That bugs me and worries me. Everybody wants to go home. Everybody wants to feel, especially because of the issues that have happened with him. How about this? Send him home. The fan base is going to be more open to him. Remember how they handled Michael Vick? That fan base was pissed at Arthur Blank and the Falcons. They were pissed when they moved off him, even with all the issues. That Ryan flew in there, man, and all of a sudden righted the ship because the Falcons started winning right away. It's the only reason. That's a fan base that loved Vic. Now you have another opportunity to bring 2.0 Vic back. So it concerns me. But if you look at their assets, they don't really have a lot to offer. Okay? Rico says Howie is notorious for lying in the weeds. Okay? So we're not seeing anything different here on how the Eagles operate. You know, I was going to ask you this as a topic, but then I started thinking about it. I'm just going to ask you guys, how does Howie Roseman act when it's free agency time? Does he show his hand? Does he tell you where he's going? Hell, that press conference that he did at the Combines, it was the vaguest thing I ever heard. It's about adding players. When he was asked directly about Deshaun Watson, we have Jalen Hurts. It's a lawyer's answer. He didn't really answer the question. He never answered the question. So when you're sitting here, and by the way, I love when people go like this. Sills, you're wrong. Your sources are wrong. You mean the NFL head coaches that I talked to? I showed you today that Bruce Arians and Frank Reich are coming on the show next week. I asked Frank, did you reach out to the Texans? Because I wanted to validate that story that the Colts, contacted the Texans. They did. They didn't give him permission. The Texans didn't. Not Deshaun's people. I asked Bruce Arians. Bruce, were the guys upstairs kicking tires and looking at Deshaun Watson? He said, we did. We started doing our due diligence. But then Brady contacted us last Monday and said there's a chance he's going to be coming back. Bruce Arians, Byron Leftwich, and everybody started having conversations with Brady to bring him back. Brady goes over, talks to Cristiano Ronaldo. Next day, it was over. Hey, Jamie, McClain is completely off base. How about that? Think about this, for instance. John McClain from the Houston Chronicle came on this program yesterday and said there's only 2 teams. And by the way, remember what he said? You think he ever wants to go and play in Cleveland? He met with him today. So that was a bullshit report that John McClain, who is the Hall of Fame voter and who covers the team, doesn't even know what's going on. If that guy doesn't know what's going on, how does anybody in Philadelphia know what's going on? Come on, man. McClain couldn't have been further off. There's only 2 teams. Well, Falcons, Niners, Browns, Colts have all inquired about him. Where are the Saints getting their capital? What are you going to take? Taysom Hill? Trevor Siemian? Draft choices? What's their picks this year? What are you going to put? Deshaun Watson on layaway? Where's their pick? Do the Saints have a first-round pick? Oh, yeah, I remember. It's 18. Wow, that's really going to rattle the Sabres over with the Texans and Nick Caserio. Woo! Got the 18th pick, you mean, this year? Oh, and the greatness of Michael Thomas. That ain't enough, guys. That ain't enough. Come on, man. That ain't enough. Texans said no to Colts. They did. I asked Frank Wright. Matt Ryan to the Texans. So the Texans are going to take on 30-some-odd million bucks, right? Matt Ryan. Paul says Watson doesn't like Philly. Okay. Paul? Hey, Xander, put that up. Paul says Watson doesn't like Philly. Okay. Let's go by Paul's sense here. See that line there? Well, if I were Howie Roseman, I ask you guys this question. Why doesn't Howie come out and go like this? We had conversations with the Texans and Deshaun. He didn't want to do it. Everybody in Philadelphia would give Howie Roseman a pass. But if you sit back in the weeds and you let somebody get him with a lesser package that you could have offered, Howie Roseman's going to look like shit. And then the more pressure will be on him for the NFL draft and free agency. Cowboys got weaker. They got weaker. Mari Cooper's gone. How about this, too? Randy Gregory told the Cowboys to stuff it. Hey, and I was right on that one, too. I posted about 18 hours ago, if the Cowboys move off of Randy Gregory, they did. They didn't offer him enough money. They couldn't. The Broncos came in with a better deal and more money. That's moving off of. And I said the Broncos would be the first team up. And sure enough, Big Sills knocks it out of the park. Bang. Right now, the Eagles have a chance to get better. Why doesn't Howie make a public statement? Hey, we kind of kicked the tires. You can do it without insulting Jalen. We kicked the tires. Haas, the Cleveland Browns had the number 1 pick of 4 years ago, and they're talking to the guy. John Lynch traded a bounty of picks to get in to the Trey Lance sweepstakes, and he still has Garoppolo on the bench, and they're talking. If Howie lets this go by without saying anything, everybody in Philadelphia is going to go like this. You were really sold on Jalen Hurts, even if that wasn't the case. And I'm starting to get now even more so. Howie's MO is not to let you know his hand. I actually love that. Makes us all keep wondering what he's doing. That's an advantage, guys. That's an advantage when your opponent doesn't know what your objective is, doesn't know what your game plan is. Have you ever read The Art of War, Sun Tzu? When your opponent is superior, lay back, readjust, adjust, and find out where the least amount of resistance is to attack. That's what he's doing. I think this guy's pretty shrewd. I think Howie's pretty shrewd. Okay? I do. That's right. Never broadcast your intentions. Never. Okay, because look at what you got now going on with a worm-ass guy like Baker Mayfield in Cleveland. You know this guy's going to get all butthurt. Oh, Cleveland's looking at moving off of me? No, they're looking at upgrading from you. Nobody has suggested that the Browns are not going to still land on him. They may. Because if they don't get Deshaun, they're going to have to look at it like this. Does Garoppolo give us a better chance, or does Mayfield? I think actually Jimmy G does. But Garoppolo's got an issue now. He's not going to be throwing for another 4 months. So there's a problem with that. Keep your hand close. That's right, man. That's right, Big Pickin'. Oh, hell, Howie, come on. Hey, well, he's put you in a position now where you're not going to fail at anything. You're just not going to be as great as you want to be. Because the quarterback you have is not good enough. Come on, man. And don't give me upside talk. I don't want to hear upside. I don't want to hear that word. I hate that word. This guy's got great up. You don't know that. You don't know that. Have upside. Jalen Hurts has been the same football player that I saw at Alabama. Can't read a defense. He's not gotten better at it. But all of a sudden, magically, he's going to turn into Tom Brady at reading defenses. You either can or you can't. You could do all the studying. But if you can't find it, and part of your game is running, hey, but watch this. Part of the asset that Jalen Hurts has is not reading defenses. It's running for your life. That's not the asset I want in my pocket. Running for your life. Big Chris says, I'm a hater. Hater? No, I want a winner. Personally, I don't think Hurts is the winner. Oh, you can win games. He's proven that. He ain't winning the game. Tua proved that. Okay? Tua proved that. Jamie says Jalen knows he's on a 1-year lease. Dude, 1-year lease. 1-year leash, man? Come on, man. Easy money, bottom tier quarterback. Absolutely, man. Look at all those major stats that matter the most. Okay? By the way, you know what, though? To your point, hating, not hating the kid. I can't believe that people don't understand that the NFL is all about upgrading. You know, there's teams that are trending up and there's teams that are trending down. The Cowboys are trending down. Do you know what the Eagles are? They're treading water. Right here. Where's this gamble, dude? The Eagles have to gamble, quoting Howie. Hassan Reddick is not gambling. What are you gambling on? Where are you going? What's the direction? Are you making a deal that we don't know? That's all good. I love how people are all over the internet right now with sources. Okay? I love it. Agents are the sources. You trust an agent? I trust an agent as much as I trust an NFL general manager right now during the time of free agency and during the time that we're getting ready to put draft boards together. You really are going to trust the news that's being broadcast and thrown all over social media. Jay Quest says, Dan, you're just talking. Really? I'm giving you the layout of the way things are. I'm not telling you anything different than the way life is in the NFL. M. Reyes says the Saints have a top-flight defense. Yeah, that the Eagles destroyed. Eagles destroyed that defense. Didn't they run for over 200 yards on that so-called great defense? Didn't they blow that thing out of the water? Oh, Dennis Allen's the head coach. Failure with the Raiders, too. So Deshaun's going to go play for that? Okay. Why? Harry Anthony, perfect comment. Why are you still talking to Deshaun? Because he's in play. Harry Anthony's the kind of guy that he's on the boat with Columbus. Doesn't see land. Tells Columbus to turn around. Those are the guys that you throw overboard. No way, baby. I'm like Columbus. I'm going to find land. Okay? Come hell or high water. Big Sills is finding land. If you were on the boat with Columbus, they'd have threw you over. Okay? You're not going to be on the boat with Big Sills. That ain't happening. Hey, Sills, I don't see land. We've been only out an hour. Where's this land you promised? You promised me the land. Where's the land? Throw that guy overboard. Turn him into chum. He's now officially chum. Or Anthony's chum. By the way, all good, dude. We're having fun. Got no chance. He's not coming. Watch this. No land. No land. Hey, he's up in the bird's nest going, no land. Throw that guy off that bird's nest. Get his ass out of there. Put that guy and throw him over with the anchor. Throw him over with the anchor. Xander's doing this. Dude, we're getting this guy or not. Let's hypothetically say they don't. Howie's got to come out and go like this. We made a play for him. Didn't want to play here. That ends it. That ends it. Play to the fans. Hey, R. Anthony, man. All good, buddy. We're good, man. We're good. We're good. Throw him overboard. Big Sills. That's right, baby. I don't like non-believers. Blind faith, my friends. That's what sports is all about, is blind faith. I told you I went down to University of Miami years ago when they were going to play Notre Dame. And I told them, when you get on the field against that team, you got to believe your coach can put you in the right position to win. It's blind faith. It's like religion. I asked everybody in the room, how many people in here believe in religion? Everybody put their hand up. I said, see the people with their hand up? And every guy in the team had their hand up. You have to have your hand up when your coach is telling you, I'm going to lead you to a win. Okay? You have to have blind faith. Got to have blind faith. Coaching is blind faith. Building a team is blind faith. You got to believe in what you're seeing. Sometimes your mind plays games on you. And the things you see visually in front of you, your mind starts trying to dissect it and separate it and lie to you. Go with what you're seeing. You guys are telling me flat out Howie Roseman's MO is to keep everything cloak and dagger. Keep his cards close to his chest. Isn't that what he's doing here? Rico says, guaranteed Howie put together the best deal. I would say that what you saw in Denver, okay, what I saw in Denver is what probably is going to be the blueprint of how this whole Deshaun Watson deal is going to be. Seals, I've been an Eagle fan since 86. One thing I know about our fan base, we're influenced by those stupid-ass sports radio hosts in town, and they hate Howie, so they hate Howie. Hashtag zombies. Gil, your sports talk guys are horse shit in that city. You guys make those stations run. You could be a trained SEAL and do radio in Philly. Okay? Honest to God. They're not talented. Angelo is. You know why Angelo's so great? Because Angelo's an entertainer. Angelo sparks sides. Ping pong, ping pong. You know why Howard's great? You know why Howard's not on Monday through Friday anymore? Because they're afraid of him. It's honest to God. And they're professional salesmen because they have the properties of the teams on there. You're not going to get good sports talk like you did back in the 2000s, 90s, and 80s. You're not getting that in that city anymore. You guys move the needle. You know who makes WIP number one? 12 plus across the board? You guys do. Your fan base with the passion. Look at what we're doing here. Hey, all kidding aside, there's a side that says Watson has no chance of coming here, and there's a side that's saying, Sills, let's get him. That's Philadelphia sports talk. That's Boston sports talk. That's Chicago sports talk. Those are the best markets on the planet to talk sports. Right there. Those are great markets. That, to me, is entertaining. That's entertainment. Because we both have a position we're taking. And you know what, in the end, too? Everyone just wants their respected team to be good. Okay? Yeah, right. Big picking. WIP's on autopilot. They don't need to do anything crazy. That's why they hired a fish PD from Phoenix. Really, you think a guy in Phoenix knows what's up in Philadelphia, South Philly, and all that? You think he knows about the wing bowl and all that? You think he knows about Bruno Margetti and also Angelo? You think he knows about all of that stuff? Come on, man. Holy crap. He doesn't know anything about that. Give me a break. I mean, I'm telling you, flat out. But I will say this. You guys are teaching me a little bit about his MO. I like John Ritchie. We're boys. I like him. I like Ike, too. We're good. Don't mean to just kill that. Angelo's boring? Yeah, all the way to the tune of $2.5 million a year. Can I be boring? Hey, can I be boring at 2.5? I'd like to be boring at 2.5. That's his salary. And he's made it for 30 years. Hey, man, if I was Howie, if Deshaun lands somewhere, I'd go like this. No, better yet, you know what I would do? I'd leak it out to one of the tools in the Philly sports market and say that, hey, Philadelphia offered up. Word is, you're right. You know how I would do it? Who's the biggest lackey in Philadelphia that's plugged into the GM's building? Can you guys give me a guy? Who is the number one guy plugged in to Howie Roseman? Who's the number one lackey in Philly? Who's the number one guy? Can someone tell me? All of a sudden, you get like all your information, and he's plugged in to the Eagles. Howard Eskin? Okay, is he friends with Eskin? You know what I would do with Dave? Okay, you know what I would do? I would call Howard up and go, Howard, just so you know, Okay? Just so you know, or Dave, hey, listen, man, we made a deal. We had a deal on the table. They rejected it. Deshaun didn't want to play, but we offered and gave. No one would begrudge Howie Roseman if you put 3 number ones on the table. That's just the Texans being weak and not holding Deshaun Watson accountable. Because I'll tell you what I would do. Can I tell you what I would do? If that guy came back to me and he wanted to play in a market that was not going to give me true market value in what that quarterback is going to bring when it comes to putting him out there to be traded, and it's some shit offer, I would suspend his ass in 10 seconds. Keep him there until he has a come-to-Jesus conversation with his agent. Son, this has got to be good for both of us. We acted like professionals the entire year. Don't treat us like jackasses here on the way out the door, because that's not going to be tolerated. His value is not going to go down if you suspend his ass. Then you don't have to pay him. Hell, he's going to be on your books anyway, according to that dude John McClain we had on yesterday. By the way, I doubt you'll see that guy on again because his reporting sucked. Okay? Not one thing he said was true, except Saints and Carolina. That was the only, and Watson. Can't have that, man. No one else. No one else. 4 teams came to the table today. It was almost like as soon as that interview ended, 4 new teams popped up. No, he's not going to. Remember, he even identified. He has no interest in going to Cleveland. Cleveland met with him today. I'll never have that guy on again because he lied. I'm going to put liars on. I like people with different opinions. I'm putting liars on. And by the way, for the record, he's a journalist. I'm not. I'm not a journalist. I don't want to be. That's code for asshole. Okay? Even Xander goes, I listened to the interview, and then 2 minutes later, teams are lining up. Josina Anderson's lining up. People at the NFL Network are lining up. People on ESPN are lining up. And I'm going like this. This guy just reported only 2 teams. And that Deshaun is telling everybody, I have no interest in playing in Cleveland. That was a bull-faced lie. You're talking to them is not saying no. Am I wrong? Or am I being unreasonable here? Matthew says, didn't treat you with respect. Yeah, because he lied like that. 215. Well, I said yesterday, he won't be back on the Sill Show. Hey, 215, it's not because he had a different opinion. It's because it was a bullshit opinion. And I asked him for facts because he's a journalist. Okay? He's a you know, Jason Cole's a journalist. Rick Gosselin are journalists. There's a reason I have like Derek Gunn on. He's a journalist. Those are journalists with more of a reputation than me. Told you this, I'm an entertainer, dude. Okay? Yeah, Birdman. I mean, and by the way, he's one of the most plugged in guys in Houston sports. I just don't come out and just lie like that. I mean, Gary Cobb didn't believe it. Yeah, hey, right. Journalists never lie. Watch Fox News or CNN. You shake your heads and you go, that's not journalism, dude. You're never supposed to be the story first. I took journalism classes at Miami, and the number 101 rule was don't be part of the story. Don't put yourself in the story. That's all we see today is people putting themselves in the story. Well, this humble journalist's opinion. No one asked you, guy. We asked you to report on it. I mean, really. And everyone's like, and you know what they did? People who were listening yesterday, you know what they did? They took John's word for it. How do you feel now with 4 new teams in the conversation with Deshaun Watson? How do you feel about it? Makes that guy look like a tool now. He goes like this yesterday. Saints, yeah, it's only Saints and Panthers, no one else, man. I'm like, how can the Saints be when they're over the cap? How could Carolina, they have nothing to offer except a broken down, oh, it's where he's going to play. What are you putting this guy on a layaway program? That's why when people are going, where are the Eagles in it? Hey, I'd like to know too. I would. But I've learned a lesson from you guys. You know what that is? Howie Roseman plays things close to the vest. Let's let this thing play in here. Because, guys, here, I'll tell you something. One thing you got to really love about this. The Eagles are the richest ship in the ocean right now. And all these other ships have water in there. Watch this. You go to Atlanta. So Deshaun goes to Atlanta. He's going home. It's the only reason he'd go home because that team sucks. Cleveland, okay? I get Cleveland. Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb, a defense, an O-line. I get it. Passionate city. What's the difference between Cleveland and Philly, though? When it comes to passionate fans, not getting it. Plus, the AFC's loaded. You think he really has an easier track to get to a Super Bowl playing in the AFC? I don't think so. What you make of Barrett Brooks earlier saying that the deal would get done before Friday, I love his conviction. I love it. He knows the Eagles a lot more than I do. Okay? Paul says, so what's your gut say, Sills? What are the hey, Xander, put that up. Put Paul's up. So what's your gut say, Sills, about the odds of we landing Watson? Why don't we address that on the flip side, okay? Let's do that. Guys, hit the like button. Don't forget, Merrill Reese, 5:30. We'll get his spin. I guarantee you he's going to be a Jalen Hurts supporter. Why not? Guy went 9-8, put the team in the postseason. That's just a hunch. That'll be in hour number 2. We'll address Paul's comments here. We'll do it next. Keep it here on the National Football Show.
Go for the midnight dares. Go for the memories. Go for the view that goes on forever. Go for the bubbles in your bathtub and in your drink. Go to bed whenever you want. Or don't. Go for him. Go for her. Go for the win. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Book your trip at theoceanac.com.
At Stateside Vodka, every new customer gets the world's best rocks glass. Free.
What's that?
A rocks glass?
You're telling me that bottle is cut in half?
You could say that.
Holy shit.
And you're telling me I can get one of these glasses for free?
That's right. 1 free rocks glass per customer with each first-time purchase of Stateside Vodka. So good, it just disappears.
Imagine for a moment that you went to work today and when you came home, you were catastrophically injured. Your life and your family's life. That's what happened to union construction worker Mike Little.
I was scared of what the end was going to be, but to be 100% honest with you, I knew I was going to be all right just by talking with Brian. In my heart, I just knew everything was going to be all right.
Call the firm and find out why they say, "We got this." Call 215-458-2222.
field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
Welcome back. National Football Show. It's your boy, Big Sills. Merrill Reese will join us in hour number 2. Cowboys are a lesser team, just like I said they would be, right? How about Randy Gregory just telling the Dallas Cowboys and Jerry Jones, deal's not good enough, guys. I'm out. Okay? I'm out. I'm out. Right? No interest coming back at that number. I knew he wouldn't come back at that number. I tweeted that out. You see, Jerry Jones tried to pull a New England Patriot on Randy Gregory. You know what that is? Well, don't you want to stay here? Because we're the Dallas Cowboys. You have numerous opportunities as a Cowboy. Well, this just in, Jerry. Some people want to win. You took less money to go to New England. You know why? Because they delivered Super Bowls. You don't deliver Super Bowls. You barely deliver playoff wins. You've had 3 since 1998. You know the Bengals have more postseason wins since 98 than the Cowboys? The Bengals. The freaking Bengals have more wins than the Cowboys since 1998. I'm like, okay, the Bucks have more wins in the playoffs since 1998. Hell, the Bucks have 2 Super Bowl wins. Man, I'm supposed to believe that playing in Dallas is a big deal because you're on TV. I want to be a TV star, Jerry. I want to be a Super Bowl champion, Jera. That ain't good enough, dude. I'm a football player, not a movie star. That's the problem in Dallas. Everybody thinks they're movie stars. They forget what they're there for. To win a ring. It's not about records. It's not about reputation. It's about winning championships. Jerry forgot that because you know why? He never understood it in the beginning. That's why he's never been able to duplicate what Jimmy Johnson did. He'll never win another Super Bowl as owner of the Cowboys. He'll never duplicate what Jimmy did. And that'll be Jimmy's testament. Couldn't do it without me, dude. You know, for the record, Bill Parcells never won a Super Bowl championship without Bill Belichick. Put that in your hat. Never won a championship without Belichick on his coaching staff. He was a special assistant when the Patriots got beat because he had just been fired from Cleveland, and Bill added him as a special assistant. He wasn't the coordinator of that Patriots team that Favre's team beat. Okay? Switzer. Switzer was a doorman for the Jimmy Johnson Cowboys, dude. He was a doorman. Here, let me hold Jimmy's team for you. This way, guys. What was the big line when Switzer took over? Don't F it up. Cowboys swept the Eagles. Yeah, and he got bounced in the first round the same way the Eagles did. Hey, the Eagles and the Cowboys had tea times the same time. Look at how much money that the Cowboys' door for a Super Bowl is closed. That was the best team they had since that Des Bryant team that went up to Green Bay. They're not coming. They're taking steps backwards, dude. That team ain't walking forward. You're lesser of a team now. Michael Gallup. Skip Bayless is trying to make the comment that Michael Gallup is better than Amari Cooper. Okay. Yeah. Ask Dak Prescott that. Ask Dak that. Sirianni personally may not vibe with Watson. Bro, when you got a championship guy in your huddle and you've got a franchise guy, well, then guess what? Sirianni is freaking fired. Jamie, he's fired. If my coach walked in and said, I don't know if I could get along with Deshaun Watson. I don't know if I could coach him. You're fired. Coaches are supposed to be able to coach everybody. You're fired. Sitting around hearing that. That's what made Jimmy such a great coach. He could coach the most troubled players on the planet and guys like Aikman. Hey, man, I don't want to hear some snowflake coach go, well, I don't know about Deshaun's this. And I don't want to hear anything about character either. Character's between the hash lines with me. We're talking about football players here, not guys you want to have date your daughter. Okay? We're not talking about that. We're not talking about guys running for Father of the Year here or Philadelphia Person of the Year. We're not looking for that. Win games. Win games. Yeah, Chris. Jerry fired Jimmy. How'd that work out since? Oh, wait. Good fire. Yeah, right, huh? Boy, it's been a stellar run since. Look at all those NFC championship games they've been to. I mean, oh, that's right, they haven't. Whew. Tons of winning. The Eagles have more. The Eagles have more playoff wins like did every other team in the NFC East since 2000. And it's added up where they have more than all of them combined. They've dominated the East. That's a fact. I think it's 14. Eagles have dominated the East since 2000. Last 22 years, the Eagles are the most dominant team in the NFC East. It's by a ton. By a ton. Hey, Janoris Jenkins, I took that guy out. I've known Janoris Jenkins since he was in high school. I really like him. Jerry's in his own world. Yeah. Mediocreville. Mediocre. Philadelphia may be interested in Watson, just not going to leak it out because of Hurts. Yeah, but Shane, that's a great take. Trevor, Xander, put that up, please. Okay? Philadelphia may be interested in Watson, just not going to leak it out because of Hurts when it backfires on him. So we have Carson Wentz as your quarterback again? Jesus criminy. I thought we got over one guy who needed to be breastfed. Aren't we done with that? Dude, does he need a binky and a whoopee? This is the NFL. You're paid. Hey, man, I don't want to really hurt his feelings. The hell do you think this is? Pre-K? Come on, man. Well, I want to hurt Jalen's feelings. Okay, right. I don't care. I care about his feelings. I care about winning. Jeremiah, you're correct. So is goat's milk. Thank you. Okay. Paul, you're not right. And as soon as I said it, I go, you know what, man? This will get turned on me here. Hey, this will get turned on me. Thank you. So true, Sills. Sills would give up 4 first-round picks. That's not a question. You want 5? You want 5? You want the bell? Okay. Do you want lifetime sandwiches at Geno's? Tell me, what do you want? Lifetime massages? Hell, Xander even kicked in and said he'd do the massages. No deal. No deal. Get this. Look at Jeremiah says no deal. And here, know this. The 49ers traded for all those picks to set up a really great draft for them. And you know what? They traded them down to Miami so they could get Trey Lance. It's today they're talking to Deshaun Watson, but not in Philly. You're not following the sense of what's going on around the league. You guys aren't acting like GMs because you're not seeing it. Everyone else is acting the way everyone is supposed to act. I got a shot at Watson. You don't think people in Chicago are kicking it around right now? They just don't have anything to offer them. Chicago doesn't have a first-round pick. Hey, by the way, what do you think the Rams would rather have, Matthew Stafford or Deshaun Watson? It's not a question. I don't want Matthew Stafford over Watson. But, he won a Super Bowl. Yeah, he's 85 and 91 or whatever, 85 and 96 or whatever the hell his record is. 5, I'm in. I'm in anything that it takes to get that guy in the building. Okay? William says 4,500 yards, 33 touchdowns, but 4-12 record. William, get that too. Think of that. That team was so awful. The team was so awful. Poorly coached. They get rid of Deion. Hey, let me ask you something. William, did he do that without DeAndre Hopkins on the team? Did he do that? Did he still throw for 4,500 yards without DeAndre Hopkins on the team? Am I right? He did that without having Hopkins there? Hey, tell me what Gary Cobb tweeted out. Xander, take a look at that. Tell me what Gary tweeted out. I heard Deshaun Watson is going to the Carolina Panthers. Is going to the Carolina Panthers. The Eagles will be going to battle next year with their guy, Jalen Hurts. I believe that. Okay. Hey, Xander, why don't you make a call to Cobb right now? See if we can get him on. Just call him. And if he has to do a landline, we'll work with it. Whatever he needs to do. Okay. We're gonna follow up on that and see if we can get him back on here. Yeah. If that's the case, that's why Howie's been quiet. If that's the case, they know what's up. But then all these meetings that he has planned today are for what? Okay, Atlanta's meeting with him. The 49ers are meeting with him. Okay? Sills, look hurt. No, it just gives it closure. Hey, sorry, but I just saw it. No. Okay? Could be working on Jimmy G. We'll see. No. You know what? I don't want Jimmy G over Jalen. I don't want to do that. It was him or no one, guys. It was him or no one. Okay? X says another mediocre season, forcing Carolina to add more money to his contract, trying to change their mind. Watson or nothing. Right, Big Pickin'? Absolutely. Hang on, guys. Listen. Okay? No. Jeremiah, I was never going to go like this. Well, you know what? Let's just go back into the pool of dudes now. But guys, what is Carolina offering? Man, do they have the Panthers have the 6th pick in the draft this year. The 6th pick. Perhaps the plan is for a better quarterback class. Next year, I guess the kid from Ohio State, you're going to trust another Buckeye guy? That CJ Stroud guy is probably the only dude that's in the building. Big Sills, I'm not defeated, dude. I told you this before. There's no losing for the Eagles here in this. You were going to upgrade your quarterback position to make you a Super Bowl contender. You're not a Super Bowl contender right now. Seth Joyner said it last week. You were a Super Bowl contender with Deshaun. Now you're not. But you're not a sorry-ass team. You actually got better because the Cowboys got worse. Sanders, like the Eagles, will regret missing on Watson. Here's what's going to be disappointing. Wait a minute, guys. Know this, though. If we see a package that is put in front of the Panthers that's less than anything that Philadelphia could have offered, that's not on the Eagles. That's on Houston and Deshaun. Okay? It's mostly on Houston. And that meant the no trade clause in the contract. Okay? Polly says, Sills, you look different. I hope that means better. Merrill must be real happy. That'll be in hour number 2. Okay? There's no way. Cobb premature tweet. You're hoping. Dude, Bryce Young is not an NFL quarterback. He's not. He's 5'11", 185. Where are you putting that? Okay? Oh, thank you. Thank you. Sporting a Jerome Brown hat. I thought that'd be something everybody would look and like. Nothing has been inked yet. I agree. Agreed. Hey, watch this. Maybe John McClain was right. But why all these teams, though, having meetings? 49, why put it out there like that if he was going to sign? Why did the Browns put that out there? Why did the Colts put that out there? Right? Why did all these teams put that out there like it? This doesn't make sense. Right? If Watson to Carolina is true, what's the next move? That we keep all 3 picks, trade? Maria, this is what I would do. I would use 2 of them, trade back with 1 of them, and I would create another first-round pick for next year. Get multiple picks in the second round, and I would go that route. I'm not using 3 ones. I'm not using 3 ones. Okay? Smoke show? Yes. Could be. Birds are still in good shape. Eric, you're in great shape. You're absolutely in great shape, right? Just like Big Pickens said, build that defense up. Carolina, man, get this. So Carolina's going to dump all their assets on Deshaun, and they have nothing right now. Man, that is a long climb up the hill. The only thing that saves Carolina, if these reports are true, the only thing that saves Carolina is that the NFC is shitty. Okay? Don't tell me that's Willie who I think it is. Please tell me that's not Willie who I think it is. Please tell me that's not Willie. Kelsey's Keg, please tell me that's not who I think it is, the guy in San Fran. I pray to God it's not. Garry Cobb will join us. So we're going to also have, again, we're going to have Merrill Reese in hour number 2. So we'll get him on. I'm assuming we're going to get him on at the top of the hour. Or we'll get him on as soon as possible, get Garry Cobb. Because Garry is still in Israel, too. So hopefully the connection's decent. Fake news? Garry Cobb doesn't put out fake news. G Cobb's he's gonna give you the skinny here. Darnold is better than Hurts. I never said that. Okay. Sam Darnold being a backup to Deshaun Watson, that's a pretty good number 2. Minshew will be – they're probably going to negotiate that more. Oh, Willie. Got you. Absolutely. Got you, Kels. That's right. Jerome Willie Brown. It's on the tombstone too, dude. Number 19 for DK. Seattle needs a first rounder. You trade for like DK Metcalf? That could be. All right, why don't we take a small timeout here? We're going to work on Garry Cobb coming on with us again from Israel. And we're also going to have Merrill Reese. Okay? Xander, can we take a timeout here and we get him on the flip side here? We're going to take a timeout here, guys. Please hit that like button. We'll get the latest. Garry Cobb tweeted out Deshaun Watson to Carolina. Let's see what he says. That's next.
Go for the midnight dares. Go for the memories. Go for the view that goes on forever. Go for the bubbles in your bathtub and in your drink. Go to bed whenever you want. Or don't. Go for him. Go for her. Go for the win. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Book your trip at theoceanac.com.
At Stateside Vodka, every new customer gets the world's best rocks glass, free.
What's that?
A rocks glass?
You're telling me that bottle is cut in half?
You could say that.
Holy shit.
And you're telling me I can get one of these glasses for free?
That's right. 1 free rocks glass per customer with each first-time purchase of Stateside Vodka. So good, it just disappears.
Imagine for a moment that you went to work today and when you came home, you were catastrophically injured. Your life and your family's life. That's what happened to union construction worker Mike Little.
I was scared of what the end was going to be, but to be 100% honest with you, I knew I was going to be all right just by talking with Brian. In my heart, I just knew everything was going to be all right.
Call the firm and find out why they say, "We got this." Call 215-458-2222.
Field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
Welcome back. National Football Show. Your boy Dan Sileo. Bottom of the hour, we are going to talk to our friend Merrill Reese, There's been a lot of noise going on concerning Deshaun Watson, and today the Browns met, the 49ers met, the Colts were told no. I spoke to Bruce Arians. The Buccaneers had made conversations about potentially having him as a member, but a couple minutes ago, our dear friend who joins us each and every single Monday, our friend Garry Cobb joins us, and he tweeted something out. He says it's going to be Deshaun to Carolina. Give us some insight here, Garry, why you think it's going to be Carolina.
Well, it's a source I have close to him that says that's what's going to happen. Of course, we talked yesterday. I was surprised that, that there wasn't going to be at least a discussion about him kind of giving in and doing the Panthers a favor. But what I hear is, and not doing the Panthers a favor, doing the Texans a favor. So I wanted to be in the South, but I had heard that the door open there. He would go, and this is previously when there was talk about him being traded, that he still was open to going to a place where, he'd be able to go and play football because he really wants to play. So what I hear, though, it's the Panthers. I hear it's going to be announced, sometime tomorrow.
Here too, Garrett. He was, he met with the Browns today. The 49ers were also in a conversation, but this just came down to the fact that he was either going to probably play in Atlanta, where he's from, or he was going to play in Carolina, where he played his college ball in that neck of the woods too. And this is all about peace of mind and comfort zone, more than trying to win a ball game where they can build around him. It may be a slow build, right, Garry? But he wanted to go to a place that he's comfortable with.
Yeah, especially, he obviously has got to know that he's made some mistakes, and that he's going to have to go in and get the good graces of the people around him. And, he's had all his success in the South. He grew up in the South. So I could understand him wanting that. I just thought that the teams would make a little bit more noise about that, being that they want him to let some other people win in this situation. But, I can understand that. I know with regards to the date and things, there's some issues there. So, from what I hear, it's something that everybody agreed that's something they're going to do. So, we'll see if it all comes through. But I feel real good about the source that told me that.
How about this too, Garry? At the end of the day here too, you look back on it, maybe this is why the Eagles had a heads up and they weren't public, because they had an inside scoop too, that they knew that it was really going to be either Carolina or potentially Atlanta, because why throw that out there when it didn't really matter what the Eagles offered up? They were just going to lose just by the fact that he wanted to play in that part of the country.
That's right. And I from obviously, I thought yesterday, the information that was coming out from your guy, I thought he probably nailed it right on the head. It's a kind of situation where kid wants to play in the South. Basically, let it be known that's what he wants to do. He's definitely got a lot of people knocking on the door because the kid is a talent. He's a special talent. And we know it's a quarterback-driven league. So he really was holding all the cards and, he got what he wanted. Hopefully everything will work out for the kid. I'm rooting for him. He knows he's got to get his act together. He's got to clean up some things, both on the field and off. And I hope things work out for him because, he's still young. We'll see what he can do. But he's very talented. There's no question about that. That's the reason you've got this fervor about Deshaun Watson. The kid is a special talent.
Last question for you, Garry. What's any kind of collateral damage in the fact that potentially maybe behind the scenes that the Eagles were looking at Deshaun Watson? Is there anything, or because it wasn't made public, they just go on business as usual?
I think this go on business as usual. And, I talked about this before, was that one of the number one things about Jalen Hurts, it's the thing you hear all the time, is about his character. The kid is a stand-up guy. It's going to benefit him, and I think that that's the thing that there's no question about them. He's a stand-up guy. He will be fine through this. He knows that this is that business. And, he's got a dad that was a coach. So, that helps. But he's a stand-up guy. All the guys on the team are for him. They want him to be their quarterback. And so I think from that standpoint, from the dealing with this and everything, he knows, hey, this is a business. Teams do things. But I think he's going to come out this fine. And I think that's the big thing about him. And that's the reason you bring him to Philadelphia. Not everybody can play in Philadelphia. I think we've seen that. And, the guy that wore the number 11 didn't do real well in Philadelphia. So that part of it, they nailed it with Jalen Hurts. He is the guy that can stand up there. Doesn't matter what people are saying. That's not going to change him at all. So I think that's one instance here. Clearly, it's a big plus for the Eagles. They got it right there.
You got it. Hey, Garry, thank you so much for this news, man. We really appreciate it. Travel safe, my friend. We'll catch you next week.
Sounds good.
All right. Garry Cobb from Fox 29 in Philadelphia is reporting that it will be Carolina for Deshaun Watson. By the way, I see people saying Big Sills shit all over John McClain. John McClain said that he was not talking to any other teams. That's what aggravated me about his report. It wasn't true. He met with the 49ers. He met with the Browns. He told the Colts no. There were numerous other teams that he was talking to. Now, he landed on one of those teams that John did say, which for him is good. But we thought the reporting, again, what I find just crazy about this whole saga here with Deshaun is that you made it public that you were talking to teams earlier today. Okay? He did say that, Dave. It was a 2-team race. Well, then why meet with the other teams? Why meet with them? Why talk to them? Why lead them on? He did say that. It was a 2-team race. Why meet with San Francisco? Why meet with the Browns? Why meet with Atlanta or have a conversation with Atlanta? That's not what he said. It's not what he said. Now, Carlos says something here. I didn't think Philly had permission to try to get him. Okay? Sills, do you believe it? GT, that's a great comment. Gary's got great sources. Gary's got great sources. I know some people in the Carolina front office. I do. I know some people in the coaching staff too. So I'm going to probably make some calls to see if this thing ends up getting hammered out. Okay? Maniac says, Sills, I don't like when I'm not mad, dude. Big Sills don't get mad, dude. I get mad when you talk shit on my daughter. I don't get mad any other time. Chicken parm sounds like a good deal, dude. By the way, too, Dave, all good, man. Seals man crush with Watson is over. It's not over, man. Bro, you got depressed when the news broke. So did I. That's Xander. Oh, man. Hey, I love you too, man. It's all good. Matt Rule, a Temple guy. Leverage? I just don't. Here's one thing, though, man. What is Carolina going to give that Philly couldn't give? I'll tell you what, man. I would make, Carson Wentz may be public enemy number 1, but Deshaun Watson would be public enemy number 2. No, Dave, I'm sorry, man, if I yelled at you, dude. I apologize. That's my Italian in me, Dave. You have to understand something, Dave. It's just my Italian. I holler at everybody. Here, you got to understand something, Dave. With the Sileo household, you didn't have to have the facts, Dave. The guy who hollered the loudest won the argument, no matter what it was. No matter what it was. Hey, Sills, get Cobb that weed whacker. I know, man. I'm always worried about the hair in my ear, too. I'm doing the deal. That's probably where I'm going to use the weed whacker, too, is in my ear because Xander's right. I don't know, man. Whew. Could do some serious damage. The old lady would be calling me John Bobbitt after a while. Some of you may know who that is. Watch this, man. Jeez, man. Oh. Man, I'm almost in a mood to take a break, but I won't. I'm going to plug along now. Man. Here. This is how I feel. Jalen's my quarterback. All right. Oh, man. Then I got to worry about Carson beating him now. We got the third best quarterback in the division. Oh, don't worry, Carlos. It's beer time. What is? Angel hair pasta with some shrimp. I like that. Sills is broken. A little bit. Well, hey, won't lie. Oh. Eagles, watch this. Back to covering Xavier Rhodes. Oh. Oh, man. LFG hurts. SZN, all right. Philly is fine. I'm not worried about Carson Wentz. Howie offered 4 firsts. Oh, yeah, and it hurts. Look at that. I'm not on that. I'm not on it. No way. I'll be looking to upgrade every year off that dude. No. Apologies to Pamela Hurts. Why would I apologize to Pamela Hurts? This is a business in the NFL. Watson doesn't want to be competitive then. You're right. Sharon, you're right. It's a great take, Sharon. Sharon, you know what he chose? He chose comfort, and he chose to be around friends and family that aren't going to heckle him. Carolina is not going to win anytime soon. And what are you using in the draft now? What are you doing? Okay, easy money. Easy now, man. Moms are off limits now. Come on now. Be careful now. I'm going to defend Mrs. Hurts here. Come on now. Let's be good to moms. Moms are awesome. Moms are off limits. My neck of the woods, moms and daughters and family are off limits unless they act like jackasses, like Patrick Mahomes' brother. Guy's a tool bag. Okay? Ron Mexico. I thought Ron Mexico was Vic. GT. Hey, Xander, put GT up. It doesn't. So the Texans took a crappy deal to move him? How did the Texans get better? Let's just say this. The Texans have what? The 6th pick. They have the 6th pick. So you're going to give ones? You're going to give ones the next, 4 years to the Texans? That's a slow build, man. Damn. Carlos, you're dead on. Yes, if I look defeated a little bit, I am. I won't lie. No, the Texans have the third. And you're right. The Texans do have the 3rd and 6th pick. That's right. I'm saying, what do the Panthers have to offer? One more draft choice? Think of this for us. Hey, think of this for, wow. Hey, think of this for instance. Okay? But wait a minute, Xander. 3 and 6 now. I'm talking, what are the Panthers offering? A 3rd and a 6th. So you just got 2? If the Eagles gave them 3 1s, they would have had the 3rd pick. They would have had the 15th, the 16th, and the 19th pick. They would have had 4 1s in the first round versus 2. You want to get better overnight? Good night. Don't talk to me about what the Panthers now. Look at the Texans. 2 and 6. Bro, you would have had 4 1s you could have parlayed and moved up, down, split them up, made first rounders for the next 2 years. You could have cut the Eagles' draft choices in half, 2 of them, and would have had the same deal that you have now with Carolina. You take the 15th and the 3rd pick. You take the other 2. You slice them and dice them. You trade them. You can make those other 4 into another 2. Set your franchise up for the next 10 years. I don't get it. I don't get it. That just doesn't make sense. Okay, watch this. 2 1s for the Texans. That's great. That's great. The Eagles could have given you 4 total. 4 first-round draft choices. And maybe a Jordan Mailata. Think of that. The Eagles could have given you 4 1s or 3 1s to make you have 4 1s and Mailata and Fletcher Cox. But they took that. 50, that's 500% less of a deal. That just doesn't make, hey, this is not on the Eagles. That's a dumbass move. If that is the way that's playing out, you guys are going like this. Sills, they have the 3rd and the 6th. Okay, well, if I give you the Eagles 3 1s, you have 4 first-round draft choices, and I'll throw Mailata, and I'll throw Fletcher in. 2 starters, maybe a 2, and you'd have 4 1s. Come on, man. Then again, no one ever accused the Texans of being a well-run organization. Williams right. The Texans shit the bed on this. They were held hostage by a guy who had 22 sexual assault cases against them, and they never used their own leverage they had. Sit down and shut up until we get a deal. Yeah, but Maniac. Okay, well, let's move on now. Now you look at the stupidity of the deal. Too much. Hey, obviously. 3 1s. Wait a minute. I guarantee you, you think Carolina's going to be offering 3 1s? There's no doubt 3 1s the next 3 years. You think they're going to only give them their first-round pick this year? You know what? It wouldn't shock me if Carolina has to give 3 1s, 3 2s, and 3 3s if this deal comes out like this over the next 4 years. The Eagles could have did this in 1 draft. and it would have been set up for next year's draft. They wouldn't have had to give any future picks. They wouldn't have had to. They could have did all of this in one draft, got it out of the way, not mortgage the future. And you don't mind mortgaging the future on first-round picks. How many first-round picks is Howie shit the bed on? Come on, man. 4 ones and a player, and you passed on that. Okay. Hey, know this. There is absolutely no way. There is no way the Texans got value for this. There's no way. No way. All right. I'm going to take a timeout because we're going to get Merrill Reese on. I want to talk to Merrill. You know, Merrill is a big Jalen Hurts guy. But there's been a lot of chatter around the Eagles. A lot of chatter. Okay? Let's hear his perspective and how this is all going to affect the team moving forward. Okay? We'll do that. Guys, please hit the like button. The voice of the Eagles, the legendary voice of the Eagles, Merrill Reese will join us next. Keep it right here on the National Football Show.
Go for the midnight dares. Go for the memories. Go for the view that goes on forever. Go for the bubbles in your bathtub and in your drink. Go to bed whenever you want. Or don't. Go for him. Go for her. Go for the win. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Book your trip at theoceanac.com.
At Stateside Vodka, every new customer gets the world's best rocks glass. Free.
What's that?
A rocks glass?
You're telling me that bottle is cut in half?
You could say that.
Holy shit.
And you're telling me I can get one of these glasses for free?
That's right. 1 free rocks glass per customer with each first-time purchase of Stateside Vodka. So good, it just disappears.
Imagine for a moment that you went to work today and when you came home, you were catastrophically injured. Your life and your family's life. That's what happened to union construction worker Mike Little.
I was scared of what the end was going to be, but to be 100% honest with you, I knew I was going to be all right just by talking with Brian. In my heart, I just knew everything was going to be all right.
Call the firm and find out why they say, "We got this." Call 215-458-2222.
Field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
What a day. What a last couple of weeks, man. And what a last couple of days here, too. Merrill Reese will join us. The legendary voice of the Philadelphia Eagles will join us here in a couple minutes. Please, guys, bang on the like button. We appreciate everybody coming aboard here with us. You know, I look at it this way. Let's hypothetically say that they didn't want, Watson's camp didn't want Philly, okay? And the Texans couldn't convince him of it. There was nobody, and I did a show with Joe Kraus the other night, and Joe was like, what's the no-brainer here on this? It's a no-brainer. right? I just find it hard to believe that you're talking about a scenario where you didn't get the best value for the guy that you considered a franchise guy. Yes, Carolina would have now have 2 first-round picks. Yes. Okay? Yes, it's great. Okay? You're going to have 3 and 6. Going to do a lot with that. You're going to do a lot. Okay? You're going to do a lot. But Philly could have given you 3 ones this year. 2 players. Maybe a 1 next year. You didn't want that? It really boggles the mind. Deshaun Watson totally won this because he got to go where he wanted. How about this, too, how this whole thing played out? He didn't play last year. They paid him. He was active, so he got a year credited, and he got to go where he wanted. It's like James Harden. It's like James Harden. I mean, I'm gonna force my hand, and I'm gonna go where I want to go, and you can't stop it. That's John McClain was right about that. That's for Dan. If this is how this played out, there is no question that this is exactly the fundamentals of the deal, that how it played in for this deal to get consummated. Garry Cobb, again, reported it here on our program that Deshaun Watson will most likely in the next 48 hours sign with the Carolina Panthers. Exclusively here on the National Football Show, Cobb breaks the story that he's going to Carolina. So, UNC Wilmington, is that where his daughter graduated from? Okay. It is a good school. It's a great hoop school, too. Yo says he has to rehab his reputation. Let me go here with you on the Eagles side of this now. Business as usual, right? Okay? Business as usual. Okay? Hey, let's move on here. Next hurdle. What's the next hurdle for the Eagles? What's the next hurdle? Got to look like this. Can't get stuck in mud. Can't be pouting. What's the next? It's the draft. Or potentially free agent. Here's something else. We weren't in the Randy Gregory sweepstakes. We got Hassan Reddick, Sills. Why did you get both of them? You have the money for it, and you have the draft picks for it. Why didn't you go get both of them? You're 31st in sacks. Act like it. Hassan Reddick versus Randy Gregory. I don't know. What do you think? And I get to weaken my own guy, and he plays in my same division, and he knows the game plans of all the teams that play in the NFC East. Where were we in that conversation? Okay? Where were we there? Let's not let one failure, I don't know if it's a failure, because the Eagles could have put all the chips on the table and they just didn't want to bite on them. Okay? That's not on them. But, dude, let's not miss out every place else where we can better the football team. I don't want to start seeing some of these free agents that got a lot of mileage left on their tires continuing to go to some of these other teams. You know the team right now that got better in the postseason so far, or in the offseason, I should say? The Broncos. The Broncos added a star quarterback and a star rush edge guy to an already talented roster. Dude, no question. The AFC West, you got me plugged in. I'll watch every one of those games. There won't be a crappy game in the AFC West this year. Okay? There won't be a crappy game. Here, watch this. Raiders, Chiefs, I'm in. Broncos, Chargers, I'm in. That division is not only the most difficult to weather through, but it's also going to be the most visible division in football. Jesus, man. Let's not get caught in this whole web here where all of a sudden, and again, by the way, I'm not saying anything negative about the Reddick sign. Absolutely not. It's a really solid, good sign. It addresses an issue that this football needed to address. Absolutely. The question is also going to be, with all this rhetoric going around and all the conversation going around, how is Howie going to deal with it? Because Howie could just stop, fire back and say, I told you guys at the combines what we were doing. I also told you that Jalen was our guy. And he's our starting quarterback going into 2022. He deserves the opportunity to be the starting quarterback on this football team. Hey, you like Connor, the kid in Arizona, who was in Pittsburgh for a long time and was a Pitt Panther. He really added a great dynamic to that offense. And with a running quarterback like that, I think it opened it up a little bit more for him in Arizona than it did for him when he was in Pittsburgh. Roethlisberger's not going to move around. He'd be a good addition too. Absolutely. Kareem says that Reddick won't make an impact. Daz says pathetic. Watson folded in his only playoff game. That'll start right. Marquis says sign Winston. Jameis Winston? I actually like him. Sills, Howie doesn't do bad AAV deals in free agency unless they're in love with their quarterback. Brendan, that's a really good take. Okay? That's a really good take, man. I think Minshew would be a better starter than Jalen. I don't know, man. I don't think so. I think the reason they're keeping Minshew is because he's the greatest substitute teacher in the game right now. I mean, you talk about guys who could come in and win a ball game. He proved that point when they went up to the Meadowlands and won with the Jets. The ability to have a good backup quarterback in the NFL today is vital, especially when you have a mobile quarterback like the Eagles have. You got to have a mobile. You got to have a second dude back there. You can't let a guy have a cliff dive when you have a guy get injured and your number one guy gets injured. How many look at Green Bay. When Jordan Love goes into a game, Green Bay shits the bed. They look terrible. Look at what happened with Drew Brees in New Orleans. Teddy Bridgewater was a great substitute teacher. He ends up signing that deal in Carolina. You've got Trevor Siemian and you've got Taysom Hill there. Those guys are battling out for the starting quarterback job in New Orleans now. Mike White with the Jets, he had a run. Shane says build a championship defense. I happen to agree with that. That's why I know he won't, but all three of my picks are defense. So just to recap, Garry Cobb came on after he tweeted out that Deshaun Watson is going to Carolina. The Eagles will be going to battle with Jalen Hurts in 2022. That's from JAKIB, Fox 29 in Philadelphia saying that. And he tweeted that out a few minutes ago. We had JAKIB on just a couple seconds ago. So we will have a conversation again here with Merrill Reese here in a couple seconds here. Hill for the Saints is hurt consistently. He's not a starting quarterback. He's a gimmick quarterback. Nutt says, build your defense and running game. Continue to improve on the running game because it was number one in the NFL. I think you guys just pull stories out of your ass, to be honest with you. Jeffrey, it's not so much that. This is what things are being reported out there by people like Adam Schefter. And by the way, I'll tell you one more time, Jeffrey, I love pulling this up, okay? And I love doing this. So, Jeffrey, you think I pulled this crap out of my ass? I asked personally Bruce Arians and Frank Wright if they had contacted the Houston Texans on potentially bringing Deshaun Watson into Indy. He said no to me last night. I asked Bruce Arians if the Bucs inquired about Deshaun Watson. He said yes. I don't pull shit out of my ass. I pull stuff off my phone when I talk to NFL head coaches and GMs. You know, there is a reason. It's funny, Xander. All those people we put on, the Tom Telescos, the Kevin Colberts, and all those people, and all the head coaches and general managers that we've had on, pulling out of my rear? No. I asked the people that make the decisions. I asked those people. You think I ask a sports writer? I don't really tend to believe sports writers all that much. Dude, I talk to these coaches all the time. By the way, just so you know, if you want to stick around next week, Bruce Arians and Frank Reich will be on the program next week. Okay? You're right. You know, I should learn, man. My daughter tells me that. Pull stuff out of your rear. And first and foremost, guys, always know this. I'm not a journalist. I don't want to be considered that. It's not what I am. Garry Cobb isn't a sports writer. He works for Fox 29 in Philly on the postgame show for the Eagles. That's who it is. But Sileo, YouTube chatters say you're wrong. Hey, I know. I was right about Randy Gregory yesterday, wasn't I? I pray Sil's wife has a hefty plate of raviolis. I like meat. Hey, I like meat in my raviolis too. Adam Schefter, fake news. There you go, Duck. Big Sills is a sports personality. That's what I like to be dubbed. Absolutely. We're efforting our friend. Let me see here, making sure everything's all good. We're efforting our friend, Merrill Reese. Hopefully we can get caught up with him here in a second. If not, we'll have him on tomorrow. Let's see here. The Jets, Giants, Seahawks, 49ers called. The Bears were too stupid to call. That's funny, man. That's funny. The Bears were too stupid. Because YouTubers are truth. Dude, social media, man. Sometimes I get swallowed up by it still too, man, you know. By the way, the Cobb stuff on my Twitter page at Dan Sileo Show is blowing up. Hey, those of you who don't follow, please follow. Why don't we pick up Nick Foles? He took us to the Super Bowl. Joe, I think the Eagles, man. I don't think they want any part of that again. Even though I think Jalen could handle it. I do think Jalen could handle it. How about the 49ers? How about the 49ers reaching out to Houston and wanting a conversation? And Watson saying, okay. Man, Atlanta reaching out and saying that they want to talk. And then G. Cobb drops the mic right here on the program and says that Deshaun Watson in Carolina will be done in the next 48 hours. Whew. That's why you guys make this show awesome. That's right, man. Whew. And you know what? Howie looks good in this whole process. Well, I never said anything about going after Deshaun. Never said it. I told you what I was thinking at the combines. Nothing's changed. You see, he's going to be able to look at the media in the face and go, I don't have egg on my face. You do. Okay, you guys were like genie lamping this thing, hoping this thing was going to come through. But again, here, maybe this is why I have such a problem with this. That's right, Eric. I agree. But Eric, this is what I don't get. You took a significantly lesser deal that could make your franchise better, and you walked away from it. This had to come from Cal McNair, the owner of the Texans. This had to. This had to come from him. Let's just get him out of here and turn the page. That's not a way to build your team. You know, you look your entire life, okay, for a player like Watson, and then you just give him away for a kind of good deal? I would say this to you. The Texans, it's a kind of good deal. So the Texans now get 2 first-round picks where they could have had 4 players, maybe multiple picks for next year. Miles Jack was released. Another good football player. Same thing like Bobby Wagner. Seeing a lot of good dudes out there, man. Okay? Dad says I don't believe it for a second. If that leaked, everyone would know. I'm not going to dismiss G Cobb. G Cobb's plugged in. He knows a lot of people. Okay? He knows a lot of people. But again, just like yesterday, man, I am having a very difficult time completely buying this thing here. Let's see. QB salaries are killing teams with strong vets and strong veteran salaries. Whew. Man. Just don't get it. I'd say Watson and Houston are pretty stupid. Jeff, it's just a dumb move. Okay? Fred goes, keep holding on, Big Sills. Hey, dude, I'm trying. I'm doing my best. Okay? I'm doing my best here. Wow. All right. We're going to be able to get Merrill in his car right now. Let's go to Merrill in his car here. And
Hi.
All right, Merrill. I tell you, man.
I apologize. I was stuck on the turnpike.
Typical. Hey, Merrill.
Yes.
All the news now. G Cobb came on a couple minutes ago and said that Deshaun Watson most likely in the next 48 hours will sign with the Carolina Panthers.
I don't know anything about that, but I would have said that it was very unlikely that he was going to sign with the Eagles.
Why? What? Just your no sources, nothing inside. What led you to believe that the Eagles were not in line to be a team where Watson would want to come and play?
I just think that he had his choice of several places, and I just don't think he wanted to come to Philadelphia. It's a tough fan base. I think he's more comfortable in a smaller market. I just don't feel. I just never felt that this was where he wanted to be. And plus, Howie Roseman and Nick Sirianni have been saying since the day the season ended, right through the owners' meetings, that Jalen Hurts is their quarterback moving forward. They have not been ambiguous about that. They have been very strong about that. So did they do their due diligence? I think probably 3/4 of the teams did. But I don't believe there was a real passion on their part for landing any of these available quarterbacks, including Russell Wilson.
Could it possibly have been, too, that, you look at Howie Roseman and how he didn't want to surrender the team's future. I mean, you're in a position, we've talked about this numerous times, Merrill. I mean, this is the greatest position that the Eagles have been in the Super Bowl era with all these draft choices, and you're $30 million under the salary cap as of right now. I mean, to really do something like that when you're in a position, you look at Dallas, look at them, and look at this, Merrill. They lost Amari Cooper. They lost Randy Gregory today. The Eagles got better just with the war of attrition of the salary cap alone. So they've got to feel pretty good about themselves.
Yeah, and Dan, they have 3 first-round draft choices. And they helped themselves yesterday in the free agent market by getting Hassan Reddick, who is a pretty prolific edge rusher. Along with, he has linebacking skills. He can drop back some, play in a short zone. I don't think they want to give up what they listen. You know what Denver gave up to get. I was thinking about what they gave up to get Russell Wilson. Now let's translate what Denver gave up to what the Eagles gave to an equivalent of what the Eagles would have given up. The Eagles would have had to have given up 2 first-round draft choices, 2 second-round draft choices, a 5th-round draft choice, and Josh Sweat and Dallas Goedert. That's basically the same as what Denver gave up in terms of value. I just don't think it's worth it. I just think that they have a young quarterback. Why give up on a quarterback who the team rallies around, who the players really like, who has obvious leadership skills? Not that Russell Wilson doesn't. He does, of course. But here's a young guy who has played only 20 games. You know, I might have said this to you before. Brett Favre actually played in Atlanta for a year before he had success in Green Bay. But Aaron Rodgers was drafted in 2005 and basically sat for 05, 06, and 07 before he blossomed in 2008. Drew Brees, you know what Drew Brees did in San Diego. They let him go. Miami even turned him down because they thought his shoulder was injured. And 4 years from now, Drew Brees will be inducted into the Hall of Fame. You know that. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Now, I'm not going to sit here today and tell you that Jalen Hurts is going to be a Hall of Famer. I'm not going to sit here today and tell you he's going to be Aaron Rodgers. But I'm saying we don't know after 20 games what his ceiling is. You know what? If I don't know who they'll get in free agency. They'll pick up a free agent wide receiver. But let's just say, for example, with one of those first-round picks, they pick up a really good defensive player. Let's say somebody like Jordan Davis from Georgia. They've got the edge rusher. They pick up a Jordan Davis. Okay, that's great. Now let's say they pick up somebody like him, and then with one of those other picks, they draft somebody like Treylon Burks from Arkansas. I mean, he is a game-changing wide receiver. Or somebody like Wilson from Ohio State. I mean, they're really, really talented. And you put another wide receiver opposite Devontae Smith, and you watch how much better Jalen Hurts becomes.
How about this too? Let me ask you. He's coached by a father who was a coach, Jalen Hurts. The chatter that went on the whole time, you know, and again, I'm not begrudging the Eagles for doing their due diligence and calling Houston and Nick Caserio the general manager. Just take a look around the league, Merrill. I mean, the 49ers, they made a move last year for Trey Lance. They got Jimmy Garoppolo, and reportedly they called and had a meeting with Deshaun Watson. 4 years ago, Baker Mayfield was the number 1 overall pick, and the Browns are talking to him. Atlanta's talking to him. So, but do you think there's going to be any collateral damage? Like again, I don't want to revisit the Wentz story, but it kind of is the Wentz story. Well, how do you think Jalen handles this?
I don't think he cares. That's the thing about, you know what? If your quarterback is worried about who they might bring in, then he shouldn't be your starting quarterback. I felt that last year. I felt that if, you know, look, didn't they bring in Jordan Love? And I'm sure that Aaron Rodgers didn't like it. All he did was go out and have another MVP season. I mean, years ago, the Eagles drafted Kevin Cobb early in the second round. Donovan McNabb was their starter. Donovan wasn't happy. And the reason Donovan wasn't happy was not because he was worried about his job. He was worried because he felt they could have taken another offensive player to give him another weapon. But he could have cared less about the fact that there was another quarterback in the building. And to tell you the truth, Dan, that's the feeling I get about Jalen Hurts. He only worries about what he can control. He didn't worry when they brought in Gardner Minshew. He just went out and played and had some pretty good games. Didn't have a good playoff game. There's room for growth, but he only worries about what he can do. He's not going to let any so-called due diligence on the part of the Eagles worry him a bit.
I've got to bring this up. Two last questions here for you, Merrill. I mean, I gotta give Howie Roseman just a ton of credit for what he is doing right now. And again, hypothetically, let's say that they did make an offer for Watson. That's not on the Eagles if he didn't want to play in Philly. And again, we're all comfortable with doing this. Everybody around the league is looking to upgrade that position. Sure. I mean, it doesn't matter what you've done. You're going to try to get a franchise guy like Deshaun Watson. But with him signing Hassan Reddick, a couple years ago, Darius Slay, under the cap, all the picks. Boy, I'll tell you something right now. They get this right here with 15, 16, and 19. Maybe they end up trading one of those picks. Howie Roseman is absolutely building this team for it to be the best team in the NFC East this 2023
I agree with you. I mean, look at the draft they're coming off of. Devontae Smith in the first round, Landon Dickerson in the second round, Milton Williams, who made a mark in the third round. They just really did well last year in the draft. So I think that this, and they have other players who played too. So I think they're going to be pretty good. I really do. Kenneth Gainwell in the fourth round. I mean, this team did some very good things.
Absolutely.
I'm not discouraged in the least.
What did you make of the Calvin Ridley story? And again, I throw this out to you, Merrill. I love when general managers are proactive. Okay, the Eagles had no idea this guy was going to be in any kind of issues like that. That's an Atlantic Calvin Ridley deal. But it shows me how he's looking for a veteran wide receiver. Do you read anything into that we still could be looking at something like that instead of maybe going in the draft, that he's looking for a veteran guy to go out and maybe make a move to bring in for Jalen?
I do think so. I do think so. I'd almost be surprised if they don't bring in somebody like a Juju Smith-Schuster. I would be surprised if they don't bring in somebody like that. On the other hand, I still think it's imperative that they draft one of those guys too. If you bring in one, it doesn't put you behind the gun in the draft. It doesn't make you draft a position for need. It makes you it puts you in position to draft the best available football player, even if, say, it's another offensive lineman. And they have a very good offensive line. So I think they've got a plan, and I think it's a sensible plan. Listen, when you're Doug Peterson and when you're Jacksonville and you're in the bottom of the barrel, you've got to do what the Jacksonville Jags are doing and bring in all those people this year. But the Eagles aren't in that situation. They're not an elite team. I don't mean to imply that because they made the playoffs in an expanded format last year that they're an elite team. But I'll tell you what, with 3 or 4 more impact moves, they could be a very competitive playoff team this year.
Absolutely. Merrill, I appreciate you taking time for me. And again, I know that you're a big Jalen Hurts fan here too. And again, I always told people, if I'm going to grade up from Jalen Hurts, it's got to be somebody like Deshaun Watson and not Jimmy Garoppolo. And we're going forward 2022 with Jalen Hurts. Thank you, Merrill. I appreciate it, my friend.
Sorry, I was late.
You're Merrill. You're never late. No, Merrill. You're never late. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Dan.
You got it. All right. It's funny that he brings up Jacksonville. I brought this up to Xander a couple minutes ago, or about 2 hours ago. He goes, Sills, no one cares. Let me throw it at you, though. Tell you what, if I was Doug Peterson and I was Jacksonville, you know what I would do if I was Doug? Hey, guys, how'd you like to have Trevor Lawrence? Last year's number 1 and this year's number 1 and next year's number 1. I'll send you Trevor Lawrence for Deshaun Watson. Bring him back home. You send Trevor to the Texans. What are we doing here? No way. No way what? No way what? Jags? No way what? If you're the Jaguars and you're Doug Peterson, you call up Caserio, I'll give you last year's one, this year's one, and next year's first-round pick for Deshaun Watson. You're not doing that? Trevor Lawrence. Thinking of first-round picks here. The first pick in the draft last year, the first pick in the draft this year, and most likely a top 3 pick next year. No. Really? Dude, hey, watch this. There's no pleasing the Texans then. If the Texans wouldn't make that move, the Eagles had no chance. You had no chance then with 15, 16, and 19. No chance. I'm offering you a kid, by the way, who's regarded as one of the top talents ever to come out of college, and Trevor Lawrence. First pick last year. The first pick this year. You get the quarterback, and you can draft the kid Evan Neal to protect him. Still the Texans. Oh, and you get your own third pick. You'd have 1 and 3. What the frig are you talking about? No. You'd have 1 and 3 this year. Last year's 1 and the next year, number 1. I don't know how Doug Peterson and Trent Baalke don't do that. Call them up. And watch this. You must think Trevor Lawrence is better than Deshaun Watson. And I don't. Toof. How don't you do that? Dude, hey, I'm just telling you, man. If Garry Cobb is right, and that deal comes in, and they took less money, less picks, less opportunity, and more years to have to rebuild, you're building that team not for Lovie Smith. And you're surely not building that team for Nick Caserio. Both those GM and head coach will be fired by the time the next crew gets in there. This is destined for failure in Houston. It's destined for failure because Carolina has no assets. Come on, man. Hey, this just, I love JAKIB, but I'm praying that he's wrong. I am. I'm praying he's wrong. DB Talking now says, love JAKIB, but I don't think he's right. No hard feelings, no bias. No, dude, it's not that. It's not that. Sydney, it's just shady. It's not reasonable. Watson is scared for a big market in Philly media. He wants to hide in a small market. What, you don't think the Eagles are going to call people at WIP and go, don't shit on the kid? Come on, guys. Come on. Let Big Sills help you out on how it works. Don't go there. You think all of a sudden WIP guys are going to start shitting on Deshaun Watson if he signed with the Eagles? Those guys would be yanked off the air. Okay? Oh, and by the way, you know how you get the fanatic? Hey, you want accessibility? Don't ever talk shit on the kid. Or you'll never have an Eagle on, ever. You know what you tell the Inquirer? You start revoking press credentials. What, you don't think they do that? Why do you think there's certain guys that have insights in the NFL and some don't? Because they kiss the right ass. Deshaun Watson sides with the Eagles. You think WIP is going to start pissing all over that kid? Man, you'd get a call from the PR department immediately. Nick Sirianni will not be coming on and doing mornings with Angelo again, ever. And you'll never get Watson on. They'll put him on with John Ritchie, who played with the Eagles, or Ike. They're going to put him on with a media guy. Let's see if it pans out here, man. JAKIB and Merrill Reese were awesome once again. Guys, do me a favor. Please hit the like button. Till tomorrow, God knows what the news is. Age of the internet. WIP is irrelevant. Absolutely, Eric. That's why you guys come here now. We appreciate it. Till tomorrow, 4 to 6. Don't forget, I'm back on the middle again with my boy Barrett. We'll see you on